do you want 100 people to listen to your song once, or do you want 10 people to listen to your song 10 times? So it's
Mm.
just like trying to figure out to get it to the right people that's gonna continue to listen to it, continue to rock with you, become a fan, support you, like however that may be.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back for another round, the Starving Artist Development Podcast. I am back with Alfonzo, the artist formerly known as the S's. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm always going to say that because it's appropriate. All right.
Get
So,
my Prince on.
yes. So we were having a conversation about the process of being an independent artist and pretty much registering everything and just, getting everything registered correctly and distributed correctly. So let's go back to the conversation. So, as an independent artist, you have to register your name with the company ASCAP, right?
Yeah, with
And
ASCAP
then,
or BMI. Mhm.
oh, right, or BMI.
Yeah,
Yes, I've heard of
yeah,
them too. And then after that, you can go through a distribution center like Distro King.
yeah,
And then, of course, I was talking about United Masters and how Steve Stout pretty much created this platform for a lot of independent artists. A Big X the Plug, I know he's one of his like bigger artists that's
yeah.
on United Masters, that's really like putting United Masters on the map. And just the plethora of knowledge that Steve Stout has provided for a lot of independent artists that don't want to take the traditional route of signing to a record label, which honestly, I can appreciate because he used to work at a record label company and decided to take his knowledge and wrap it up and then create something that will ultimately disrupt the recording industry, right?
Right.
So as the independent artist, because you are switching your name over from the Essence to Fonzo, which is really
Yeah,
just a
my
take
man.
from your real name. So it
Yeah.
works, it works. But going through that process of registering everything. So you said it's kind of easy. It's not as
Yeah,
difficult, but
it's
it's just
it's pretty
finding.
simple.
Okay.
It's pretty simple, but it's just like I said, the information is people don't know the information that's going on. And like one of the things like I've been running into is like a lot of people have been saying like, oh, if you put your music out, don't switch your name, don't switch your name. And it's just like because there's so many hurdles with certain stuff that happens. So it's like essentially me switching my name to my man's Fonzo from the Essence, I would technically be having to start over. Um, but it's essentially the same thing. You just got to re-register your name, and like DistroKid has it where you can change your name, but it's so like cumbersome because they just kind of like distribute the music to these platforms, and then a lot of these platforms don't really like coincide with them. So it's like if I was to put my old songs up under my man's Fonzo, it would be a whole separate artist page from
Mm-hmm.
the Essence. So now it's like, but now it's like I have the Essence and my man's Fonzo, but I do want to have it all in one place. But in a sense, what you can do is like each song has its own like digital footprint, which is called like their ISRC code. So it's like you could take those codes when you re-upload it and they will find it and it's like, okay, this is your music and we could put it under your new stage name. But it's just like I said, it's just so cumbersome because I'm like, now I gotta re-upload everything instead of just taking it, transferring it over. But
Yeah.
it's a lot. And my thing is like I said, I have a publishing company which is AU Sounds. I'm still rocking with that, so I'm gonna move over with that, so I don't have to do all that over. And then I registered myself as a writer, so I can move over with that as well. But it's just like the transference of everything is just like it's like damn man, like I should be able to just but it's like I gotta keep constantly doing it. But it's okay. Like I said, I'm in talks with my producer just to see because I'm thinking I'm gonna just upload everything to like Instagram or something, and then my new stuff I'll put under my new name. But
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like the music I put out is like timeless to me, and I'm like I kind of want to carry that wherever I go though. So you
Well, I
know,
know at least the good thing about the artist marketing is that it it could essentially be a rebrand, but not so much a rebrand because all you're doing is you're just reintroducing yourself to your audience, but you're also
yeah,
introducing yourself to a new audience, right? So even though you're reproducing or republishing your music, the only hang up is just losing those streaming royalties under your
yeah,
old name, right? That's the only issue with that.
yeah,
But overall, as far as rebranding and stuff goes, child, this camera. As far as rebranding and stuff goes, you can pretty much rebrand yourself as yourself because I know we talked about with stage names, we often carry a persona of something that we want to be or we want the audience to perceive us to be. But
hmm,
in hindsight, we create this alternate personality and then we're kind of stuck with the battle of, well, is this really me when I'm on stage or is this just my
right,
alter ego, right? Like we got Beyonce who is Sasha Fierce. I mean, hey, if it works,
it
if
worked,
it
it
works,
worked.
I'm not mad about that. And I can definitely attest and say I've had several different stage names and so many people like they know me under different names and stuff. So, but I feel like with each stage name, I took on a different persona when it came to being a semi-professional, dancer or even a dance teacher. So now going back to your, rebranding and stuff, it's just the starting over process
Yeah,
that's
I
kind
and
of like
I don't never have an issue with that because I feel like every day I'm like reinserting myself to somebody or learning somebody or having somebody learn me. So I don't have an issue with none of that. It's just like, do I want to just like go forward, just leave it all behind, or and I don't know if I want to do that because like I like the projects I put out. Like I don't put out too many projects, so it's just like I put a lot into them, and like I always want them to be like a part of me, no matter like where I'm at. So that's like really the biggest like hurdle, because like I don't have a problem just putting my stuff up, but it's like I said, I kind of wanted to streamline and create a parody within myself. Like I don't want to be a two separate thing, even though it's like that in a sense with a stage name because it's a stage name. But I I kind of wanted to be like, yo, that's Fonzo. No matter what, people know that. Like, and they know me like as a genuine person, and they gonna get that through the music.
hmm
So, and that's the real thing. And I feel like I've always done that. So, like switching over, I always want to, like I said, I always want to keep my music with me, bring it with me. But
okay.
it's just now like how do you like brand? Because like I feel like everything is an ad, like in life. So it's just like I'm technically advertising myself still. So it's just like just branding myself is really like the challenge. And it's not like I said, it's not necessarily a challenge because it's me, but it's just like getting it to the people. And then like like you said, when you switch over, you kind of lose all that like streaming revenue in a sense because you got to start over. But like I said, it's not a problem. But switching over, like my last Instagram was hacked. That's another thing that kind of went to it. Like my Instagram with the
Oh,
Essence, it got hacked. I was like, man, it's just time to move on, move forward, and that's just essentially what I was doing. And yeah, even with that, like I'm switching distributing. So like I'm not gonna do DistroKid anymore. I was looking into United Masters. Then I just found out Rock Nation about to do their own thing. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff like I'm gonna look into, but in the meantime, like what I'm doing is just like putting the music up, putting it out there. Whoever wanna get it can get it. Just trying to test the waters with stuff.
now as far as artist distribution or like repurposing and then releasing your music, do you think Instagram is a better platform or TikTok for raising awareness for artists?
Man, that's a good question. Like, that's a really good question, but I think it just depends on who you're trying to target. Just like from necessarily me, Instagram, I see like a lot of older people like around in my age range. Uh, so I kind of go through there, but like I said, I'm still doing research on it, but I know TikTok, like, it can reach a broader audience. Like, stuff kind of like blow up kind of quick. I feel on Instagram in a sense. I mean on TikTok. So I don't know. I feel like all the social. This is just me. This might just be me sounding old, but I feel like all of the social medias do the same thing. But at the same time, you kind of got to use them in tandem because like some things, yeah, like Instagram and TikTok do the same things technically, but it's like TikTok is more short form content.
Hmm.
So that'd be a space where you put your short form content and stuff. Long form content you could throw on your YouTube, like certain stuff like that. I feel like certain certain apps have certain things on lock, and it's up to the artist or the brand manager or the branding agent to really figure out how to use each one effectively. Like, because it's been stuff I've been seeing like I put the three options up, but I can't promote it because it's too long. So I'm like, damn, I should have made it shorter. But it's like I don't want to cut the song up. I'm just putting it up. So it's like just looking at these different types of options that these apps bring because they are useful. Like I know it's a lot going on with them, but they useful. So it's just like you kind of got to figure out which one works best. Like, oh, is this the best one to go live on? Like, or should I go to Twitch and go live or whatever? So it's like I said, it's
Yeah.
a lot of spaces, but it's just how to use them effectively.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So I know you mentioned the short form and the long form content. So with the short form content, I know you pretty much post the entire clip of your song Three Options.
Hmm.
But do you by any chance want to do like sound bites
I
with B-roll and stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna play around with it. I'm gonna play around with it for sure because I think it's a really good song. Like, and
It
I
is.
don't
It
want
really
it.
is.
I don't want it to like go by the wayside or anything. But me putting it up on there was just me testing. Like, all right, like how does the Instagram algorithm work? And I'm like, I'm willing to use this song to try that out. And like I said, I'm gonna put some more short form content of it up, play around because I've been playing around with some editing and some animations, and I kind of want to shoot a video for it because I have a really cool idea for a video. But yeah, like I am gonna play around with it because like I think like I said, it's a song I love. I stand by it, and I think it's something people should hear. And for me, just personally, like I feel like I'm rapping my ass off on there. And I know Beta did his
Yeah.
thing on the beat. It's more so in a sense, just like, all right, let me figure out what content works where, works best where, and how to really use it. But essentially, I just wanted to put some music out because I'm like I didn't put anything out, and like I got more songs, and I was gonna continue to do it like that. But I'm just kind of like guinea pigging with this song right now, and that's
Okay.
that's that's really like it's trial and error being a upcoming
Being an
artist.
artist.
It's really a lot of trial and error. And I think that's the issue that really the artists come into when it's like time to put the music out or time to put the art out, is getting it to people. Like is that's the challenge. Making it, like I said, you just extending yourself. But then it's just like giving it to people. It's just like how do you give it to people? You gotta put it in a space where people, I feel like it'll find them.
Mm.
You know, it's challenging. It's a thing I always stuck with me was like, do you want um 100 people to listen to your song once, or do you want 10 people to listen to your song 10 times? So it's
Mm.
just like trying to figure out to get it to the right people that's gonna continue to listen to it, continue to rock with you, become a fan, support you, like however that may be. That's where the issue lies. And I think artists, we do get sensitive about our things because it's like it's essentially us, and
Yeah.
then you're putting it out there. So it's like, oh, if nobody listen to this shit, or what if they think it's whack, or what if. But my new motto is like, what could go right? So that's what I'm
Mm. I
saying.
like
I'm gonna
that.
just
I
throw it
like
up.
that.
Yep.
What could go right?
And
I,
what could
I
go
like
right?
that. I'm gonna have to
And
use that.
yeah, what could go right? That's why I just threw it up, and it was like so many people hit me like, "Damn, man, I've been waiting for you to drop something."
You're like, oh.
It's like, damn, I didn't even really know, but it was like, we sitting on stuff, so it's like, here, man. My producer always been kind of hit me about it. It's like, man, put this out, man. I feel like if I don't put the music out, that's bold for him because he making the beats and he help arrange and stuff. So it's like it's essentially your project too, you know. Like we working together to make the best version of me in a sense. So I'm like, if I don't showcase what you've been doing, that's kind of fucked up too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to dive into that. I have a couple of questions. So one question is, okay, so now let's dive into the long form content, right? So I know you have a vision to make a video
Hmm.
at some point. So how are you going to do? Are you going to hire a production company? Are you going to shoot on your iPhone? Like what? Are you going to use B-roll? What does that process look like?
Like I'll give you the breakdown of essentially how I wanted to do it, which I might just thug it and do it myself. Um with a couple homies, but it's like my idea was essentially I wanted, and I'm the way I was breaking it down, I was like, man, I can essentially do it myself because it's like so much research out here. Like I said, like a lot of stuff ain't really complicated. It's just trying to find the information on how to do it.
Yep.
That's what really hold us up. And like I said, back then, like even like before the pandemic, people wasn't trying to like give you the keys to stuff. So, but now it's like a lot of the information is like readily available. But for me, I was thinking about shooting it myself off the iPhone, and because I got a gimbal, you know, I can hold it, you know. So, and my process on it was gonna be like I was gonna have like 3 vertical screens, and it was
Mm.
all gonna be a one shot in each one of me. But it was like each screen would represent the different option. And it's like yeah,
Mm.
so it's like I got one of me working in the gym and shit. I got one with me writing the raps. I got one with me on the block and shit. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just me performing the song in those different options, and then like seeing how the consequences and the payoffs like portray from each option. You know, in a sense. That was my mindset on it, and like I said, yeah, I broke it down to my producer, and it's just like, man, we can do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not as hard as people
It's
think.
not as hard.
It's just like we just got it's so hard to get the information. So once we found the information, or not even necessarily information, but the techniques on how to do it, it's like, man, we can really make it happen. And then it's like you said about the podcast, we just making it happen. And then once we go forward, then it's like we can invest more into stuff. Like we can get a studio, we can get like actors and all that. We can make certain stuff like because my brain on the media and stuff is just like on another level. But I'm like, right now we got to do what we can, and then what we can is a lot. Like I think
Yeah,
that's what people need to understand. It's like they don't think they capable a lot, but it's like, man, like you really capable of doing a lot. You just got to find the information, and you can make it happen.
that's true. I'm so glad that you mentioned that. And I know starving artists, when people think of the starving artist, obviously they think of like an artist who is struggling, right? But for
Yeah,
me, when I think of the starving artist, I think of an artist that is resourceful, right? Or an artist
yeah,
that can pretty much get it out of the mud when options or resources or tools are not available to them. They use their creativity to make a way out of no way, right? And this is literally just you saying, hey, I have a vision, I have an idea for my song essentially, and I know there's a way that I can put it out there as long form content. I just one need the time, two need to figure out the video editing software I can use, which honestly CapCut
yeah.
or Adobe.
CapCut is clutch.
Yeah,
I
CapCut
use
or
Video
Adobe.
League. Like, man, like it's so many
So
free
many.
ones. It's just people don't recognize. It's like I said, they thinking, oh, I gotta go to this. I gotta go put X amount of dollars in it. And it's like, nah, man, you just
And you
gotta
don't.
put you just gotta put your passion in it. You gotta put your heart in it, and you'll find a way. Like I'm telling you. Like,
And a drone. They have drones. I think they're like what 25, 30 you can get
yeah,
off
you can
of. Tim you and you can drone that boy. As a matter of fact, when I was doing BTS content for this wedding and event planning company, I was shooting Southeast Asian weddings, right? And essentially I was using an older iPhone
Mhm.
and my gimbal, my I something, I can't believe I forgot the name. But anyways, they also produce like the audio microphones too. I was like, wait a second, I can really create something by just seeing something, visualizing it in a way that other people may not visualize it, and add my little, spin to
Yeah,
make it look like something,
cause
right?
the cause the content
So
all in your head. That's all it
that's
is. You
it.
just gotta know how to put it out there, and that's
Got
people
to put it
don't
out
know
there.
how to do it.
And also getting it to the masses too, because like you said, like
That's the thing.
everything is such a everything's about promotion, and because we have so many things available to us on all streaming platforms, it's almost like you only have 10 seconds to pitch who you are, and then they're moving you out of the line, and then it's somebody else that's pitching themselves. It's a constant revolving and evolving
Yeah, definitely
platform.
evolving
But
is for sure. Like,
if we could just go back to the analog days where people really actually sat and took the time to watch videos, to purchase albums, to listen, to the artists during their unplugged performances. Like this is the stuff that I want to produce. These are the events that I want to produce. As a matter of fact, Miss Corona, she created that beat album and she's selling it on Bandcamp, for $10. And she's doing a beat premiere party, right? And
right.
I'm like, but that's how you get your audience back
Yeah,
into really investing and listening to your music and becoming a lifelong fan versus a fan in the moment, right? For the moment, because oh well, this is popular. And even just with Apple music, like what annoys me now, especially as somebody who used to collect CDs and I collect albums, is that I'll save an album and before you know it, it's not even a week later, and I'm like, wait, I don't even see the album in my catalog because I'm
yeah.
constantly collecting music. And although I am a music lover, still at the same time, I want to take the time to really listen to this song. And I feel that there's a pressure, especially for independent artists, because you feel a pressure to constantly release music, which then in turn turns into burnout, right?
Essentially, and that's
So
that's one thing I never wanted to do. I never wanted to burn out on making music. Because I don't ever want to get to a point where it's like I don't want to do this.
yeah,
Like
you don't
even
want to
when
get
it's
there.
like you get like a mental block, I never really felt like I didn't want to do it though. Like I think that's where the anxiousness comes from when you have writer's block, wanting to do it, but then it's like your mind hasn't just like caught up to with your emotion.
Yeah, and I can attest, me finally making the decision to step down from teaching dance, it literally just came from having a creative block, but also having to filter through a lot of red tape and me feeling more like a machine than an artist, right? And
Yeah.
with artists, sometimes we have to be inspired in order to create. Like we can't just create off rip, but also having the freedom, like having the ability to create in the way that you want to create. And that option was not given to me after a while. Like when
Man.
I started collecting a salary being a dance educator, things switched. Versus when you're a starving artist and you're
Mm.
creating freely, there is a freedom in being a starving artist because you can, generate these ideas, you can implement these ideas the way that you want to implement them, you can find ways to fund these ideas in, the best way possible. But once you start working for a company and they start to strip you of your
Yeah.
creativity, that's when you do experience that artistic burnout. And that's where I was at. And I think that's really what made me say, I don't want to do this anymore. After 30 years, I'm good.
Do you think it's because like those those companies start putting more with them putting those parameters on you? Did you find it more so harder to create in a sense? 'Cause that could be it. Because like I said, like I don't ever want to feel like I don't want to do it. And if something like I don't think anything in life is easy or hard.
Right.
But it's like when you start making something that's natural to me challenging, in a sense where it's like I'm not getting any type of enjoyment out of it. It's like, oh, you stripping things away from it that essentially make me me, then that's gonna cause the burnout. That's gonna say, man, I don't want to do this. And I never want to feel like that, like, because that would shake me, that would break, like
And
to
you know what? It did. I mean, essentially it drove me to the point where, like I said, also battling like my own personal
mm,
issues and dealing with, my family stuff on top of me working for an organization ran by a black church that really, in so many words, doesn't believe in black art as a freeing forum. Instead, the black art that I was producing was more, what's the word? What's the best way to describe it? It
was it
had
like,
to be approved by white audiences, right? But this
mm,
is coming from my people. When I create art for the masses, but I primarily create art for the people in their situations. And because I was working with disadvantaged youth, I wanted to create art that they understood while also introducing other forms of art, right?
exactly,
And unfortunately, when you work with a black church organization that runs an institution, they don't understand it and they don't see the bigger vision. Even all the way down to our Black History program, what was upsetting to me is that my vision was always bigger than the school that I worked at, always.
yeah,
And I knew that I could not freely create or curate the things that would speak to my black audience and
right,
also not compromise my integrity as an artist, because essentially that's what it came down to. I began to compromise my integrity and I was no longer creating art that spoke life into people, even though everybody always praised me for,
yeah,
my choreography and how I plan things and how I would shape like our shows and stuff. But for me, there was this internal burnout that I was experiencing behind closed doors, and my coworkers could see that. And they could see that I was not happy. They could see that at some point when kids didn't want to bring their attire, their dance attire that I allocated for them by just simply reaching out to people that I did not know to gather donations and resources, and me getting that in 2 weeks and getting the amount of things donated to the school. I'm talking about 50 pairs of ballet shoes, brand spanking new, still in the box. 10 pairs of black jazz shoes, brand spanking new, still in the box. 20 pairs of dance tights,
mm,
leotards. Like, to have those things donated and to know the amount of work it took for me to get it done, but in the amount of time that I was able to get it done, and to still not receive the recognition after I did all of that. And I didn't
yeah,
ask for a penny from any of these people. If anything, my joy and my time and my money was being spent. That to me, it was when I felt like it was no longer worth it. Now,
yeah, I can
the
get that.
school, they still have the shoes that I got for them. They still have the tights in my old office. They have all of that. As a matter of fact, they even still use my choreography and they won't tell the parents that I left the school.
I was about to say that's usually how I go, man. They get you under that contract, take everything. And that's just, man. It's a crazy world, man. And then, hey, look, they're gonna repurpose it as much as they can till they can't no more. They're gonna find somebody else to do it again.
Yep. And keep doing it that way. But unfortunately, with going through that process as an artist, it definitely, like I said, opened up my eyes to a lot of things and it made me reevaluate just artistry as a whole
Yeah.
and
It sounds like they had you signed to a 360 deal. Like they took everything. Like, damn,
everything. And the
that's
thing is that the
crazy.
contract that I signed, I didn't even sign it as a dance teacher. I signed it as a general teacher, a gen ed teacher. And I didn't realize that until I read the contract. I said, so wait a
Wait
second.
a second.
You all hired me as a general teacher and you all have me teaching these other classes too on top of the classes that I'm supposed to teach. But then you want me to go back and get my Michigan teaching certification to essentially become a gen ed teacher when I got hired to be the dance teacher. But you have me doing 3 different roles and you're only paying me one salary.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and bow out.
yeah, it's like that.
I started as a dance teacher. I'm in a dance teacher. I was very frank about that during my interview. If I come in a dance teacher, I'm gonna leave a dance teacher. So, but it is what it is, right? And
It's a corporate, man. It's the corporate America, man, making their way,
making their way downtown,
exploiting us.
trying to get my check. Okay. And that even just being an artist and taking the art away from the artist and capitalizing off of that art while we sit here and we're still starving trying to figure
Yeah,
out, well, how am I going to pay my bills? Or hey, do I want to pay for this subscription so that way I can have my website up and doing all this stuff, or do I want to pay this light bill, right? And that's the thing
yeah,
about artistry people also don't understand is that yes, we might be deep into our creativity, but when you take from out of our pockets, from out of our mouths,
yeah.
you're stripping away from that creativity as well. You make us not want to create. So, but
That shit
what you're
don't.
doing, listen, what you're doing, I appreciate what you're doing, honestly, truly. And even just offering this abundance of knowledge
Yeah,
to the audience, because like you said, there's a lot of gatekeeping, and for me,
yeah. It's
somebody knows somebody who needs something, right? And I
yeah,
know that, hey, you might need somebody to sit and film your video. But we working on a very tight to no budget, right? Oh well, my man's who writes screenplays and stuff, he's still trying to build his portfolio. So he wouldn't mind helping you. Oh wait, you said you need a beat. Well, wait a second. My homegirl, she make beats over here, so maybe she
yeah.
could shoot you
And
a
that's
beat or something, right? Oh wait, you need clothes. Okay, my man's he screen printing out of his shop now, and he's still trying to promote his business. So let me hook you up. So there is community within the
yeah,
hip hop community. It's just a matter of finding the right people that really want to work with each other and build something. Because once we build and we build across,
yeah.
then something greater
Horizontal.
happens.
Yeah, and that's the whole key to it. Like it play into that starving artist you kind of feel because it's like I feel like when you in that starving artist mode, you tend to look for more resources like that versus where it's like I don't want to necessarily say established, but when you got like a machine behind you, it's kind of like they pumping everything about it, and you lose that sense of community. And me, I'm a man of community. Like I like to be places where people know me. I like to make sure I can always lend a hand to people in whatever situation or whatever place it is. Like whether it's like at work or with my cooks, or if it's in the community helping around here with just like oh, let me help rake your leaves or something. Just like extending yourself. And I feel like when you lose that sense of community, it starts to like it starts to create the burnout faster in a sense because it's like you're not around like minds, you're not meshing minds with people, or you're not essentially experiencing something new in a sense. But
Yeah. Listen, I can go on.
we
I can
could
go on. And I know at some point we're gonna have to like really sit down and do
for sure. It's definitely got to
a
happen.
yes, another discussion. And when we do, it's not just gonna be me and you. It's definitely gonna be a discussion with
Yeah, like
some
a
of our
little panel.
other independent artists here in the city of Detroit because there are so many like-minded individuals that I have spoken with that, respect what everybody is doing. It's just one having the time to sit down and really break bread with each other, but two having the ability to trust one another, because I know one thing about being from the city is that we have a problem with trusting people because of our own environmental circumstances. And I know I've had to learn a lot about people, especially working in this industry, that you cannot trust everybody. But I also feel like if we keep working across, we can not only build something for ourselves, but we can build something and really uplift the city of Detroit, especially in this very weird time with everything that's going on in Black America, but also with the reconstruction of the city of Detroit. And I feel
Yeah,
like there is we're losing our culture
that's what I'm
essentially,
saying.
like
I'm
ourselves.
with you. I feel like this is the time where we really got to put our stamp on our shit because it's like with a lot of, like you say, reconstruction, gentrification. It's a lot going on. That's like I wouldn't necessarily say taking the blackness out, but it's almost like it's not at the forefront as much as I feel like it needs to be. And like I said, that's part of that community. Just like linking up with people, telling our stories, showing our art off. Like that's something that I feel like forever needs to be ingrained with Detroit. Like I always feel like if we speak on Detroit, your first thought should be blackness. You
Yes,
know, and I'm not necessarily ready to say like we losing that, but I can see how it's like, all right,
it's
they're
transforming.
trying to like shifting it to the side for like a more so of a different agenda. I don't know necessarily what it is, but I do feel like we still have a lot of those like pillars and remnants of that. But it's just like I need us to start capitalizing on it. Like even our mayor, like we have the like a woman black mayor. I think she was like the first black woman mayor in
Yeah,
Detroit.
first female mayor. Yep, first
Yeah,
Black
so
female
it's
mayor.
like that's major. Like that need to be spoken on. You know,
Yeah.
and those
But one
things.
thing I do need her to do, I need her to invest in the arts. That's
Yeah,
that's
for
my
sure.
only hang up. When I was looking at the development plan for the city of Detroit, I'm glad that we are reinvesting into
Hmm.
education, to our senior citizens, into the LBGTQ plus community, and I get it. But there is no budget for the arts. And even the organization, the Detroit Arts Cultural Entrepreneurship Organization, ran by Rochelle Riley, she works for the city of Detroit, and she was telling me that the city of Detroit, they don't give her money to run those programs. She has to find donors to like give her money and stuff. And I feel like now it has become an issue where, I mean, we do have grants available to sponsor muralists and dancers now, which is good. We have the Kresge Foundation, the Gilbert Family Foundation, and other micro grants. Detroit Soup, they do like the little micro grant and stuff. So like the resources are out there, but I've always felt like the hip hop community as a whole does not have access to the same resources, because I feel like the culture itself is not respected, even though the primary pillar of hip hop, besides graffiti, DJ, MCing, b-boy or b-girling, is knowledge. It's
Yeah,
offering knowledge to the community. And the only way we can really save ourselves if we continue to educate ourselves, and even just doing a lot of cross curricular training and discussions. Like there's so much more to hip hop as a culture and as a subculture. And when we
hmm,
talk about, rap being a sub pillar or sub genre to hip hop, you have to know how to write, you have to know how to read, but you also have to be good with like wordplay, metaphor, simile and stuff, right? That's
hmm.
education right there within itself, and people don't understand that. Graffiti, that's visual arts.
Visual art. Yeah.
MC and DJing, like you have to be a critical thinker, or you have to be a problem solver in that process. If you're DJing, and I can speak from experience, you have to be able
Mhm.
to read the crowd. So you can't
Exactly.
pre-plan your set all the time. You have to just, literally be a quick thinker and quick on your feet and able to adapt to any circumstance. Community is most important, and without community, hip hop will die.
No, I
It will
totally
die.
agree. I totally agree, and it's just like I said that I'm a man of community, and I recognize just like how important it is just keeping something thriving, and that's just I don't think hip hop is gonna die, but I do think if we do lose that community, like the soul of it might be gone.
Well, listen, I know you got a lot that you have to do. So let me go ahead and wrap up today's conversation. Well, first and foremost, Alfonzo, I would like to thank you for sitting down with me and for breaking bread with me. And I appreciate you for just offering your abundance of knowledge to
Anytime.
our listeners. And where can we find you on social media?
So y'all can find me mainly on Instagram, TikTok, on at my man's Fonzo. That's MyMansFonzo. I have a link to all my current music up now, so just be there for future updates. Because, like I said, I'm gonna be transferring everything over to my man's Fonzo soon. But yeah, man. So yeah, that's my man's Fonzo, Instagram, TikTok. I got links in the bio up there. Like I don't like giving people the whole spiel. Link in my bio. Follow me on this. Me doing on that. Just like, look, follow me. You know where to go because I got it there for you. I promise.
Okay. No, I understand. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for listening to today's episode. You can shoot us an email if you need to, info@starvingartistdevelopment.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Starving Artist Development. You can like us on Facebook at Starving Artist Development Joint. Gabrielle Carruthers is on TikTok, but Starving Artist is not on TikTok. And you can also watch today's episode on YouTube, and you can listen to us on all streaming platforms. But first things first, we would like to thank everybody for tapping in and tuning in with us. And let's continue to build community with our independent artists and our muralists and our performers and everybody far in between. Thank you so much for joining us today. Everybody, have a great day.